Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today to offer a simple, common-sense amendment to the Passenger Rail Reform and Investment Act of 2015. My amendment would require each state to develop a grade crossing action plan identifying specific solutions for improving safety at rail highway crossings. Furthermore, my amendment would direct states to focus resources on crossings that have experienced recent grade crossing accidents, multiple accidents, or crossings that are at high risk for accidents. Mr. Speaker, a week ago Tuesday, our nation witnessed yet another tragic rail accident in my district when Metrolink Ventura County Line 102 crashed into a truck along the train tracks in Oxnard. While there are many unanswered questions about this accident, one issue is abundantly clear. As a nation, we must do more to address rail highway crossing safety and address the increasing backlog of safety projects nationwide. Currently, California ranks second in the nation in the number of crossing accidents. Nationally, the Federal Railroad Administration estimates that there were over 2,000 accidents at railroad crossings in 2013, with 251 fatalities and 929 injuries. As many residents of Ventura County know, this is not the first time an accident has occurred at the Rice Avenue intersection. This is a heavily used corridor for both rail's good movement, passenger rail, both Amtrak and Metrolink, as well as automobiles and truck traffic. Unfortunately, like many local communities across the nation, Ventura County cannot on its own fund rail highway crossing safety improvements. As a member of this committee, I am pleased that this bill provides funds for passenger rail infrastructure, and I strongly support the provisions that permits funds to be used for crossing safety improvements. Because we all know these investments benefit not only safety, but also our regional and national economies. In 2014, we invested $220 million in the Railway Highway Crossing Program at the federal level, and yet, under Title 49, only 10 states are required by federal law to have action plans prioritizing rail highway safety improvements. It is critically important for Congress to ensure that federal dollars for passenger rail infrastructure improvements are used wisely. We must also ensure that federal funds are prioritized to address safety improvements at the most dangerous crossings first. My amendment would get at the heart of this issue by requiring every state to have a specific plan in place that will ensure both the wise use of tax dollars and address rail highway grade crossing safety in a systematic way. I ask my colleagues to vote for my common sense amendment, and I reserve the balance of my time.
Gentlewoman from California reserves the balance of her time. For what purpose does the gentleman from Pennsylvania seek recognition?
Mr. Chairman, I claim time in opposition, although I do not oppose the amendment.
Without objection, the gentleman from Pennsylvania is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I thank the gentleman from California for offering this amendment. While grade crossing incidents have dropped 40% since 2000, the tragic events in Ms. Brownley's district last week reminds us how important it is to be aware of grade crossings. This amendment requiring states to develop and implement plans to improve safety at grade crossings within their borders, I think, adds strength to the bill. I would also note that there are similar grade crossing reporting requirements in the Federal Highway Program, and we should work with the Senate during conference to reauthorize the surface transportation programs, ensuring that there's consistency among the requirements at those grade crossings. And with that, I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentleman from Pennsylvania yields back the balance of his time. Gentlewoman from California is recognized.
Thank you, and I thank the chairman for your extraordinary work on this bill, and a bipartisan bill as well, and I thank you for accepting the amendment. Rail highway crossing safety problems are not unique to my district. Sadly, my colleagues have also experienced recent tragedies. On Monday, a Long Island Railroad train struck a car stopped on the tracks in East Rockaway, and in February, a Metro North train struck a sport utility vehicle, tragically killing the driver and 5 train passengers in Valhalla. I strongly believe that Congress, along with state and local governments, must address the safety issue as a matter of of urgency, and I urge my colleagues to support my amendment. I yield back the balance of my